Hi there, I'm David Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild, and today we're going to take a look at a new line of pre-painted miniature train that we're going to be carrying here at GameMasters Guild. It's by a company called Monster Fight Club, and I'm going to have 5 different pieces that we're going to be taking a look at today. And also, there's going to be a 6th piece, which is this heavy-duty monster scenery mat. So let's crack these open and see what they're all about. Okay, now it's time to look at Monster Fight Club's monster scenery. First thing we're going to do, though, is I'm going to put out a couple miniatures here. These are 25mm miniatures. This is typical what you'd use for Dungeons and Dragons or most role-playing games. So these are going to be here for scale. They do not come with any of the scenery at all. Okay, so let's take a look at monster scenery. Bushes-Verdant Green, pre-painted tabletop scenery set. Retails for $23.99. Let's see what we get here. All right, we get 6 different bushes here. Let's take a look at how our 25mm miniatures match up with it. All right, not too bad. I like how they're painted. There seems to be a lot of depth. They've got more than just one color on it, which is nice. You can really see some of the shadowing and stuff in there when you really get up close on it. Plus, another thing I like about this, they're hollow underneath, so they're really light. And also, too, if you wanted to, you could conceal a miniature underneath that bush. So let's say your party is exploring and suddenly they're attacked. So you could easily hide other miniatures under here to surprise your players if they're not watching when you set everything up. So I like that. The height is really good. And for $23.99, I think this is a good deal. And these are durable too. I mean, because you can just drop them. I mean, earlier I was throwing this stuff across the room, and you see it's that soft, flexible kind of plastic, so it's not brittle. And quite frankly, all of this stuff, all of this is going to be like this. I've already looked at some of this stuff just to see before I started filming, and all of it is like this. Almost, I don't even know what you'd call it, but it's definitely a lighter grade plastic, but it's a durable plastic. The colors look good. You get these small bushes. You can still hide a couple things underneath it. And again, really good stuff. And look at how big those bushes are in comparison to those miniatures. All right, so the next thing we got, Monster Scenery, Bridges and Barricades, pre-painted tabletop scenery set. All right, so we're gonna set that right there. Now, this is the first of the $40 price point sceneries. So let's take a look, see what we get. Well, we get a couple of these platforms. We get some of these bridge pieces. And we also, man, there's actually quite a bit to this. So we get the platforms, we get the bridge sections, we get the extra panels to fill in the bridge sections. And let's see, you get 6 of those, and they're right here on the edge of the screen. You get 2 of these trap door panel sections, and you get 4 of these staircases. And if you notice, these staircases are slotted, so that way, when you have your miniature, you can secure him actually to the stair itself, as well as putting him, of course, on top. So I like the fact that these stairs are slotted. I like the fact that you get 4 of them. I mean, it's really nice. Let's see, I'm going to move this back a little bit. Pull these forward, kind of set up as an example. Of course, you get a platform there, and then you can run these bridges wherever you want to, just like that. You can fill in the bridges with these panels. Very nice. And also, too, the way the sections are done underneath, so they're set up so that way they give you enough space to actually hook to something else. And it doesn't secure in any meaningful fashion, but they give you enough space so you can actually bridge it from one thing to another. And what's nice is that these bridge pieces are not specific to this set in the manner that these don't have any kind of special connectors. So if you wanted to add your own things to it, or if you wanted to bridge these, let's say you want to take this and you want to bridge it to some kind of stone outcrop, you could still do that if you wanted to. And this is actually another piece we'll be looking at here in a little bit. All right, you can set that right there, so on and so forth. Let's see, matter of fact, I'm gonna do another thing right here. You could even kind of offset it just a little bit. I'll put another set of stairs right here. Here's a little trap door, so you got a hidden passage down to somewhere beneath, or maybe some kind of access to a lower boat dock or something. And you can just fill these pieces in if you want to. And look, you even got a couple extra pieces left over that you could do something with. And with these, of course, you could easily stand them up if you wanted to, or I'm gonna stand up right here. Let's say it's just a door moving on, blocking the dock. So there's a lot of potential here, and as you can see, you can make all these walkways as treacherous as you'd like by removing all those extra pieces. Pretty neat. I'm really excited about this bridge set. For 40 bucks, I was a little skeptical because I thought it was a lot for a smaller box full of scenery, but I think you really get some use out of this. I really think you're going to get your money's worth. And again, made out of super durable plastic. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at some other cool stuff that we got. All right, so next up we have the Rock Hills pre-painted tabletop scenery set. Let's check this out. This also is $40, and we have 3 big pieces. And this monstrous piece. It's so big, I have to actually move the box out of the way. There we go. So it's huge. 3 big pieces, and look at all the room that you can stash other stuff under. Other miniatures, all sorts of cool stuff. And you know, if you really wanted to, I guess, if you wanted to be that guy, see, I would want to buy a second one and do this. You could actually almost cut a hole in it and make it a cave if you wanted to. And that way, you could outline it on a wet erase or dry erase map, have a little cave cut out of it. Characters could walk up to it, and then you could just lift it up, and there's the cave. Or you could just black this out with marker or paint or something like that if you wanted to. And let's get a good comparison here with the miniatures. And again, this is pretty big. So your characters could fight all over this thing. And I'm not being too careful about where I put these guys. I mean, it's true, I looked at this stuff before I made the video. But also, too, you can see how easily all these guys sit. And even on the uneven spots, they stand pretty good. There are some little spots like this. Could be difficult for some miniatures to stand. I think if this wasn't a metal miniature, that she might fall right off because she might not have enough weight to keep her there. But this is pretty cool. This is really awesome. I really dig it. Of course, it is only 3 pieces, but they look super nice. They're done very, very well. And usually I'm leery about spending a lot of money on and getting so little. But even though you only get 3 pieces, you get 3 really good pieces, and they're sized appropriately. It's nice. It's not like you get 3 of these, you get 3 different ones, and this thing is huge. It's gigantic. I mean, it's literally as big as the box. That's pretty great. All right, so let's take a look at the next thing. All right, next up we have Broken Ground pre-painted tabletop scenery set. Now, it looks like what they're sitting on is just something there for gee whiz decoration. Well, it's not, because they actually have 2 of these neoprene mats that you can put your train pieces on. And what's nice, they're double-sided. So you get this kind of rough terrain look, or the sparse terrain with a little bit of rocks and some dirt for both of them. And then on each one, you have these larger kind of ruined look. And this set is also $40. And now let's actually take a look at the pieces. The only thing is, of course, these neoprene mats, they come rolled up inside. And of course, it's going to take a little while. As you can see, this is still kind of sitting up a little bit, but you leave it overnight and I'm sure in the morning it'll be just fine. All right, so let's take a look at the pieces that we get with this. Not only do you get these 2 neoprene mats, but you get all this different stonework here. You get 5 pieces of stonework, and you get a tree stump. You get a fallen down tree, and you get another tree that has this big cutout on the side, but actually it's flattened here. So even though it looks like it could stand, it's really meant to lay down. But it can stand if you wanted it to be. If you just need an extra dead tree, you could certainly have it there. And again, let's get some miniatures out here for some size comparison. Again, these are my 25mm miniatures. And again, look at the inside depth of this rock right here, so much so. Whoops, okay. So his pole arm is pretty big and it doesn't quite cover him, but it will cover most other miniatures though. I thought maybe I might luck out and cover him, but not so much. But other than that, you could definitely hide some miniatures in there for surprise tactics. Hey, look it out. Or maybe, you know, maybe this guy's a wizard and he casts an illusion upon himself. Perfect. All the rocks that you see, again, they've got a lot of nice areas where they can stand on the rocks. And I like it that it's just not one giant rock and you can't get on it or anything. And I like it too that you can really sit there and kind of almost stair step, which is really cool. I think this is neat. All right, next up we have Verdant Forest pre-painted tabletop scenery set. Looks like we're gonna get another one of these neoprene mats. We're gonna get 3 trees and a stump. So let's take a look at them. All right, first of all, we've got the neoprene mat, which comes rolled up in the box. And you see we have kind of a grassy forest floor. And as you can see, I didn't let it sit out long enough. I've only had this open for a couple hours. But eventually overnight, you set a book on it, or you just leave it for a little while on its own, it'll flatten out. We flip it over. We've got like a small forest pond, really nice, I like it. We've got an old stump, which I really like. This is a cool looking piece. And it's even hollowed out down in there, I like it. And then we've got our trees. Now, the cool thing about these trees that I like the most is that you can take the tops off of each tree. Because now you can flip this over. Let's say we'll get rid of this pond. Let's say we're doing a forest bit. And you can have a dead forest. Stump sells it. It's perfect. And you can use the treetops actually as giant bushes if you wanted to, or giant hedges. They're not as convincing because of how the bottoms are, but I guess it's not bad. Now, the treetops are hollowed out. They're all hollowed out. So again, you could hide miniatures underneath if you wanted to. I don't think that was their intention. I think it was a cost savings measure. But still, it works out. If they didn't do it on purpose, it's a happy accident. But also too, this is just like the bushes that we had earlier. You can see the multicolors, the shading inside there. And if you wanted to, you could definitely add some extra shading yourself. But again, made of that super hard, flexible plastic. So if you drop it, knock it off the table, not going to be a problem. And then if you, oh, hang on, let me get some miniatures in here for a size comparison. These trees are good. I really like the scale. Very, very nice. And okay, so next up we have the 6x4 game mat. Now this one is the ungridded game map, where you can also get the gridded adventure map. This is the one that I happen to get. It's double-sided. You've got a grassland and a desert scrubland. So let's check it out. Ooh, this thing's pretty big. Ooh, that's very nice. Look at that. Oh man, that thing is gigantic. Ooh, look, there's the back side of it. You know, and it doesn't matter if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons or if you're doing wargaming, This is a very nice mat to play on. That is very, very cool. Not to mention that, but here we'll put the, it's a, like I said, scrubland or a nice wasteland even. And then you've got a nice forest. It's got some gray areas for like rocky areas. Really super cool. And what I'm gonna do now is real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and put out some extra terrain on here. I'm gonna pause the camera, and then in a minute, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna see all the terrain laid out for you. There you go. All the scenery with some miniatures in there for scale. I'm gonna do a couple quick passes so you can check it out. All right, so that's my look at Monster Fight Club's Monster Scenery line. And I gotta tell you, I'm really excited about these. These things look pretty cool because overall, I just like the overall look and feel and the quality. Plus, if you drop it, you don't have to worry about it breaking. I'm really excited about them, and I hope you're gonna be too. At the very least, come on down. And if you wanna check one of these out, I'll crack one of these boxes open and you can see for yourself. But I think you're gonna be impressed with Monster Fight Club's Monster Scenery. Well, that's all for today. I'm Dave Hunt, owner of Game Masters Guild, telling you to stay safe, play great games, and I'll see you real soon.